to all the dispossessed youth of Africa, for perpetuation of communion with ancestral spirits through the fight for African freedom, and in the firm faith that the dead, the living, and the unborn will unite to build the destroyed shrines. Selah. Hello and welcome, beloveds, to another episode of Wake Up Africa. My name is Dr. Mumbi. How you doing? How's everything going? I really do pray that you are well in all your ways and that you're moving into living life in your own narrative, beloveds. I'm so off grid right now. I literally almost missed this story. I'm sure you've all heard by now that Mali has actually kicked out the French ambassador almost like a couple of days after they kicked out the Danish military after some comments by, the military, by some, no, not the military, but by some comments by the French foreign minister. And for those people who say I come out with stories late, like whose schedule? Late according to who? We're not here to give you the news. We're here to give you the spiritual angle, the spiritual commentary behind the news. So if you're looking for news, then this is not the place because we literally don't even cover every story. But this one is important because I don't think people realize why France has their knickers in a bunch, beloveds, and why this is happening. You see, I told you guys, Mali. Okay, so basically for those who were like literally just relaxing and, living their best life, what happened was that Mali actually told the French ambassador to leave, according to a government statement. And, of course, this action puts into question the French-led Sahel Desert Movement, where they're trying to get 15 European militaries literally in the Sahel Desert. And what actually happened is that Colonel Assimi Goïta finally got his name right. He was supposed to have elections this year. And I told you, elections is where they try and bring in their puppets. But he has postponed elections till next year. He's been consolidating his power in Mali. And, and he's apparently not honoring international agreements. And that's the message, beloveds. In this whole thing, that's the message. He's not playing ball. And that's why there's so much unease. And that's why they're really trying to create this negative media campaign about, against Mali. That's why they're trying to bully Mali into having elections. They got the Economic Community of West African States to release a strong statements against Mali saying this and that. But it's like these people, it's like this colonel, Goïta, he seems to have really studied what is going on. But the main thing is his reluctance to uphold international agreements. He's creating, a spanner in the works. He's making the wheel not turn round. Because this is military. And remember, France actually, so they've been there since 2012. There's a lot of natural resources that we don't even know about. In the Sahel, we don't even know if they were being shipped out with, different government officials' approval. Because it's never, as I said, it's never about world peace. No one's ever coming to help you, beloveds. Everyone who pretends to come and help you is probably coming to try and exploit your ass. And that's something I've had to learn in my personal life the hard way, beloveds. But seriously, so apparently, because now I'm sure, okay, so this is what I was saying. So France, since around 2012, they've been training the Malian army to kind of handle the terrorism situation once they leave. They're always pretending to leave, but it's like a forever war. And now what I believe is happening, and I'd love to hear from my West African brothers and sisters, especially my Mali brothers and sisters, but what I believe is happening is that now the army, because they've taken over a few of the outposts, I think like France handed over like 2 of the outposts, is they probably want to be involved more in the operations of this anti-terrorism movement. They probably want to see more. They probably want, because I think that these French military and everything, they have their own camps. There's no one monitoring them. They're just running buck wild out there doing their thing. So they can do whatever. But now this military, because he's part of the military, he's like, yo, Allegedly. Now, this is my opinion. But I mean, what else does it mean when you're, reluctant to uphold international agreements? They probably want to get their noses in there and see what's really going on. And I feel on the other side as well, he doesn't want as many foreign military in his country. And that's another massive bone of contention, beloveds. Because he's like, oh, hell no. I told you, like Denmark, Romania, I think Turkey, and Norway were the current countries that were now waiting for approval to send in their special forces. I was just letting that tractor go by. I hope this hasn't affected the sound. But, so basically, what the reason that Mali took, now I'll tell you the story that they're giving. So the French Foreign Minister, Jean-Yves Le Drian, Le Drian actually, he said, last week he called Assimi, that's the Colonel Assimi Goita. He called his government illegitimate. How dare you? Who are you? How dare you, man? He called it illegitimate and said they were taking irresponsible measures. And so the Malian government summoned the French ambassador. I think these people are I think France is forgetting who they are, man. They ain't who they were back then. They're barely on survival mode. But, so they called the French ambassador Joël Meyer. This was on Monday, I think just like around the 1st of February. And they said, and they gave him 72 hours to leave the country. And the statement said, this measure follows the hostile. This is what the Malian government had to say. This measure follows the hostile and outrageous comments made recently by the French Minister of Europe and Foreign Affairs, and the recurrence of such comments by the French authorities with regard to the Malian authorities despite repeated protests. And you see, what's making this, the reason like they haven't been invaded and this guy hasn't been taken out is because the Russian private security is in Mali right now. And the rest of the Europeans are not happy about that at all. But it's like the enemy of my enemy is my friend for a season. Beloveds, this thing has started. This thing has begun, man. And we never know how much power we have until we stand up. And don't think this, Colonel Assimi Goita, he's not an old guy. He's a young man. A lot of these people know exactly what's going on. They know the New World Order agenda. They know everything. They have access to the information that we have access to. So they've already figured out the French game a long time ago. And France is literally a third world country. France is the biggest narcissistic nation out there. But it's like, I don't even think, I'm so disconnected from the mainstream media, so I'm not aware, but is this even catching steam? Is this even something that we're concerned about? Because I really feel the spirit of Africa has rejected these people, beloveds. And it's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time. Special shout out to my Patreon family. Thank you so much for supporting us on that platform. We do have many more shows on there, so definitely consider joining us for as little as $2 a month. Tuko pamoja.